Fletcher and folks with Jones Walker for sponsoring this for us. John, thank you very much, and your colleagues who are here with you. We really appreciate you doing this. This is a very important part of launching your entry into the legal profession. I trust that you have been inspired by the attorneys and judges that you worked with this morning, and that you're ready to begin your path into the profession. Our professionalism oath ceremony keynote speaker this afternoon is Fifth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals Judge James E. Graves, Jr. It's my great honor to introduce him to you now. In case you don't know, presidential appointment to and U.S. Senate confirmation to serve on the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals is one of the highest achievements that any member of the bar, member of our profession can aspire to. It's a recognition of integrity as well as a deep understanding of law and society. Decisions that are made by the U.S. Courts of Appeals have a profound impact on the law and the lives of the people affected by them. Judge Graves' journey to the court and his service on it have been exemplary. Judge Graves received his bachelor's degree from Millsaps College and his law degree from Syracuse. Go Orange. Go Orange. As well as a master's degree from the prestigious Maxwell School at Syracuse. Before his appointment to the Fifth Circuit, he worked as a staff attorney with Central Mississippi Legal Services. He engaged in private practice and then joined the office of the Mississippi Attorney General, rising to head of the Human Services Division of the Attorney General's office. In 1991, Judge Graves was appointed as a circuit judge in Hinds County, where he served until 2001, when he was appointed to the Mississippi Supreme Court. In 2011, he was appointed by President Barack Obama to the Fifth Circuit. Notably, he was confirmed unanimously by the United States Senate, a feat that is very uncommon in the modern era. As the first African-American from Mississippi to serve on the Fifth Circuit, Judge Graves was awarded the Mississippi Trailblazer of the Decade Award. It's an award that recognizes Mississippians who have shown a commitment to racial, cultural, and gender diversity and have presented Mississippi in a positive light. He's received awards for excellence in public service from the Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs at Syracuse, from Millsaps College, from the Mississippi Association of Educators, and the Jackson Public School District, among many others. Judge Graves has taught at Millsaps College, at Jackson State University, Tougaloo College, and Harvard Law School's Trial Advocacy Workshop. And I'm trying to convince him to teach here. So please join me in welcoming Judge James E. Graves.
I want to thank Dean Slayback for that introduction. I am very pleased to be here with you this afternoon. I could tell you that I have a 45-minute speech planned and then keep it real short and you'd be thrilled. But I have a pretty brief speech planned and I plan to stick to that. I want to thank, too, Ms. Pamela Gordon, who works in the Dean's office, who met me kind of fortuitously on the parking lot, directed me to my parking space. And Dean, now that's a space that's guaranteed to me for the rest of the semester, and especially when football games need and I also want to acknowledge my new friends, Tessa, Sherry, Jamie, and Autumn. Probably just to prove I can remember their names, because that didn't matter. And that old friend, Landon Presswood. So, having called out these 5 names, I'm expecting that you 5 will end up somewhere in the top 10% of your freshman class, right? All right, let me hear from you when that happens. This is the oath ceremony, and you're going to be taking an oath as soon as I'm done with my remarks. And I should tell you, there's a box of donuts waiting for me outside. So I'm in a hurry to get to those donuts. This oath that you're going to take is really all about sportsmanship, citizenship, and scholarship. When I took this office, I took an oath. Every judicial position I've held, I had to take an oath. One of the things that's in that oath is that I will uphold the laws and the Constitution of the United States. That oath is never far from my mind in all the work that I do as a judge. Because an oath is a public commitment to do whatever it is you commit, you pledge that you're going to do as a part of that oath. And hopefully, it is never far from you when you're doing all that you do, which pertains to that oath, which is going to be almost everything you do. It is for me, whether I'm on the bench or off, almost everything I do has something to do with that oath. It touches on that oath. And so this is not just some formality. It ought to mean something to you. And so when you are listening to those words, when you're repeating those words, I think integrity demands that you adhere to that oath. And I say this about sportsmanship, citizenship, and scholarship. What is sportsmanship? It's a commitment to fair play, ethical behavior, and integrity and general goodwill toward an opponent. And so we know that when I say an opponent, we're talking about sportsmanship in the context of sports. But oftentimes, the practice of law, being a judge and having views that are different from views of other colleagues, oftentimes it can appear that you have opponents. And even in law school, I mentioned people ending up in the top 10% of the class. There are people in this room who are determined to be in the top 10% of the class. Not everybody's gonna make the top 10% because it's just the math that happens. And so not everybody is going to be there. It's a very, very competitive environment. But good sportsmanship says that even in a competitive environment where you're embarking on a course that will land you in a profession which is often adversarial, that is the nature of the profession, but you can still be civil, you can be kind, you can be generous, and you can be courteous to those who are on the other side. That's the essence of sportsmanship. And then the other thing that this has to do with is citizenship. There are certain rights and responsibilities that come with being a citizen. And once you become a lawyer, this journey that you're embarking on that takes you there gives you an even larger responsibility to society at large. Because a good citizen is somebody who is informed. You will be more informed than most, hopefully. Many of you have studied political science. A lot of you didn't, doesn't make you any less worthy to become a lawyer. But when you become a lawyer, people are going to ask you questions and expect that you will know things just because you are a lawyer. And there are things that you just ought to know just because you're a citizen, and there are certain responsibilities that come with it. It's a participatory democracy. And so you ought to vote. When trials happen, people get summonses to serve on juries. As a lawyer, if you have a jury trial, you certainly want citizens to recognize and honor that obligation that they have to serve on juries. And so you want to be good citizens. And our country is a better place when your fellow country people are good citizens. And so that part of your oath that has to do with citizenship should also remain at the very front of your mind as you embark on this journey in your first year of law school. And then the third thing this oath is about is scholarship. And that's the one that determines who's going to land where in the class, how you're going to be ranked. But it doesn't have anything to do with who on the other end of this really is going to be a good lawyer and who isn't. So you don't want to get too wrapped up in all of that competition and competitiveness, because at the end of the day, or what you want to be is a good sports person. You want to be a really good, well-informed citizen, and you will have study laws that are passed by legislatures, executive, people in the legislative branch of government. They're interpreted by the judicial branch of government and oftentimes enforced or implemented by the executive branch. Well, that's what people study when they study civics, and when we talk about citizenship and being a good citizen and being civic minded. You will be studying that at a depth nobody else will have unless they too have gone to law. And so that's why you will likely be more informed than the average citizen. And to my mind, with that additional knowledge comes some additional responsibility. And so what you want to do now is dedicate yourselves in the interest of scholarship in learning all that you can learn, doing the very best you can do in every single class that you have. You won't get any do-overs. That class that you're taking is that class you're taking today, tomorrow, whenever it is. And you should do your dead level best every class, every hour, every day. Because every decision you make about what you do here determines what your options are going to be for the future. The better you do here, the more options you have, the more choices will be available to you. And so you need to do your dead level best. And if it doesn't land you in the top 10% of the class, that's fine, as long as you did your dead level best, because that's what scholarship is all about. And so you want to read, you want to study, you want to be informed. And I guarantee you that at the end of this journey, if you do that, you will be even more enamored with our democracy. You will have a much deeper respect for the justice that occurs in this country, because more often than not, despite all the criticism that is leveled at the system of justice that we have, at the criminal justice system, at the civil justice system, I don't know of any system that's any better. But oftentimes, it is no better than the people who are involved in the system. And you're beginning a journey, which means you're going to be very important people involved in that system. And so you want to be as well prepared as you can be. You want to be the best that you can be. And you want to be an exemplar of the integrity, the fairness, the civility that a good lawyer ought to exhibit at all times. And so I just want to encourage you, do your best, keep this oath really close to your heart and top of mind. And thank you all for listening to me this afternoon, and I'm gonna go have some donuts.
So I told you there was an occupational hazard for Denise to talk too long. Obviously, he is not qualified to be a dean. Great speech. Thank you, Judge. I really appreciate that. It is now my great honor to administer the oath of professionalism to you. So I believe you all have a copy of the oath in front of you. If you'll all stand and raise your right hand, we will administer the oath. And if you will please repeat after me, we'll take short segments of the oath at a time. And when we get to the first part that says, I state your name, don't say I state your name, say I. As I begin the study of law at the University of Mississippi, I state your name. I gratefully acknowledge the privileges inherent in becoming a lawyer and willingly accept the responsibilities that must accompany those privileges. From this day forward, I promise to do my utmost to live up to the high ideals of my chosen profession. I will remember that my actions reflect not only upon myself, but upon the University of Mississippi Law School and the legal profession. I vow to be a person of principle, truth, compassion, strength, and courage. At all times, I will conduct myself with dignity and civility, showing kindness and respect toward my classmates, teachers, and all persons whose path I cross. I have read the University of Mississippi School of Law Conduct Code, and I hereby commit that I will conduct myself in accordance with the values and standards expressed therein. This pledge I take freely and upon my honor. Congratulations. Barbie, will you instruct us as to the protocol?
Yes. So as explained on the second asterisk at the bottom of your program, we will rise one row at a time and direct you to come down this aisle to sign the oath on the mat only, not the oath itself, and then to receive your professionalism pin, return to your seats, and at that point, you may place the pin on the left side of your blazer. DLC member Zoe Barnes will assist you one row at a time. Thank you.
All right, very much.
All right, 1, 2. Thank you, sir.
All right, please join me in giving yourselves a round of applause. And for closing remarks, we will hear from John Fletcher, who is a partner at Jones Walker. He's located in their Jackson office and works within their tax practice group. John focuses his practice primarily on state tax matters encompassing Mississippi and Louisiana, as well as multi-state income, franchise, sales and use, and local ad valorem taxes. John has more than 25 years experience in the legal, corporate, and accounting arenas. John also assists clients in a broad range of federal income tax issues and appeals. Prior to joining Jones Walker, John was state tax counsel at General Electric Company, where he oversaw many of the company's state income and franchise tax audits and appeals across the country. John received his undergraduate degree from Delta State University, his Juris Doctor degree from the University of Mississippi School of Law, and his LLM degree from New York University School of Law. John's firm, Jones Walker, is sponsoring this professionalism pinning ceremony and has sponsored it for the past 4 years in a row, and we are grateful for their support. Please join me in welcoming them.
I meant to set my short bio, but since John is the tax nerd at Jones Walker, and we can get right into it. Thank y'all for letting us be here. Congratulations. This is a big day for y'all, and you're official now. There's no backing out. You've taken the oath. It's always our pleasure to come up here and take part in this. This is a great day. I do want to introduce two of my colleagues. Tom Walker over here is one of my partners. He handles our banking work. And Abby Reeves is our hotshot litigation associate that gets all the really fun stuff. But both are Ole Miss grads also, and we're always happy to be here. This is a little weird year for me because I look out here and I see now it's like now I've got my son's roommates and classmates and the son of one of my classmates from law school. It doesn't feel like I've been out that long, but I got proof of it though. Those are the few of you who've met my wife Lisa. She'll tell you that I'm kind of a packer and I have a hard time throwing things away. So this morning we're down to my office and I started rummaging around and I found my date book from 1991, my 1L. And 33 years ago today, Friday, August 23rd, 1991, we were right here taking the oath. And it doesn't feel like 33 years, but it goes by really fast. And I started thinking back about how much fun I had those 3 years and all the friends I met. And, you know, I started rummaging through here. And of course, you couldn't just share a contact back then. You had to write your new friends' names down, you know, and names and phone numbers and stuff. And I go through and I'm like, these people I still hang out with. And, you know, that I've still got relationships with that, you know, I was just meeting on those first days. The other thing was I started looking at my first assignments and, you know, back then there was a board in the law school, the old building, you had to go through you'd write down what the day one assignments were. And the first one was read Pennoyer versus Neff. Now, don't ask me like literally, don't ask me what Pennoyer Neff is about because if I try to answer it, Judge Graves is probably going to pull my bar certificate right here. But yeah, you know, I started looking back at these things and, you know, we started and then I just literally I turned a few pages and it was the end of the semester and it's exams. And then I turned a few more pages in the second semester and it's exams. I realized how fast this goes. And I look back and I remember our orientation and the dean at the time, you know, it's kind of half-hearted. You heard the line from, I think it was Scott Thoreau's book, 1L, where, you know, the dean in orientation, look to your left, look to your right, you know, one of you is not going to be here. I was like, that's a terrible message. I got my own twist on it there, and I'm serious, look to your left and look to your right, because one of these people, there's a real good chance, y'all might be standing in one another's wedding one day. It might be your wedding one day. These might be the people that you practice with all your life. You know, these could be people, y'all having, kids at the same time, and the kids are growing up and graduating together and stuff like that. You're gonna have a great time these 3 years. You're gonna work hard. Judge Graves is right. You need to apply yourself, give it your best shot. It's gonna be a lot of work, but you knew that signing up for it. Every one of you are up to the task. But I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm just gonna say, enjoy these 3 years. That it's gonna be a great time. You're gonna change a lot. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna come out the other side. It's gonna go by really quick. And, we look forward to following you in your careers. Best of luck with everything. Have a great time. And, good luck on Monday with those first classes.
So this concludes our professionalism pinning ceremony. Thank you, Dean Slaybaugh, Judge Graves, and Attorney Fletcher for sharing words of wisdom with our students. I have one announcement from your professors before I let you go, and that is sign up for their classes on Twin so you can make sure to have the assignments for Monday. Thank you for your time.
I'll take it.